Ogunquit, Maine. The name means beautiful place by the sea in the language of the native Abenaki people. And I promise you, it is. It's an incredibly charming small town that sits on the coast halfway between Portsmouth, New Hampshire and Portland, Maine. With its sandy beaches, great restaurants, and scenic walks, it recently earned the title Best Beach Town in New England from Yankee Magazine. I wanted to see it for myself, so I jumped in my car to meet up with Grant Hubbard, a boat captain and lobsterman who told me the best way to discover his hometown for the first time is by sea. Captain Hubbard,
nice to have
meet you.
Richard, it's my pleasure.
So is this our ride?
This is our ride. Come right aboard.
I'm very excited. So you've been coming here since you were a kid?
Well, I came here as an infant. Boating before birth is a term we use. My mother carried me around for all those months on this boat before I was actually born.
On this actual boat?
Yeah.
No kidding. So how old is this boat?
This boat was built in 1957.
Okay.
5 years before I was built.
And Ogunquit. I mean, obviously it's got an interesting name.
Let's start over. Ogunquit.
Ogunquit.
Ogunquit, yeah.
Yeah, Ogunquit.
Yeah, it's an interesting name. It's an Abenaki Indian name. We have a lot of rocks. It's impossible to mark them all by the Coast Guard. So it's a lot of local knowledge involved.
Do you feel like you know this area like the back of your hand?
I definitely do. The back of your hand would be a day when it's so foggy you couldn't see the land from here. That's the real challenge. There's a little cove called the Flume.
The Flume.
It's like a little U-turn cove that's magnificent. See the little cove in there?
Yeah, that's very gnarly. I am a boater, so I'm intimidated by this. This is something I wouldn't typically come in. Now, obviously, you're experienced in
Why
here.
don't you take it? Maine's famous for its bold shoreline. A bold shoreline is that drops off immediately at the ocean's edge. So we're still in 12 feet of water right here. I'm glad you had the courage.
You clearly know what you're doing. I'm impressed.
First thing I learned is to keep smiling, never show them that you're sweating it out.
No, I'm not sweating. Obviously, I know
my
what you're
job.
doing.
Let's head up the beach.
Do you mind if I take the wheel?
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
See what you got.
For me, it's a real privilege to drive a boat like this.
You're doing well.
Thank you. I'm going straight. This is one of the most lobster intense places in the world, right?
It's the most lobster intense place in the world.
So what makes it so good?
Well, the fact that we have very clean water, it's very cold, it's very high in nutrients, very fertile fishing grounds not far from here, and it's a massive coastline.
So we're in relatively shallow water.
32 feet right here.
One of the amazing things I've always found about lobsters is you'll find them in down to what, about 2,000 feet?
Yeah, 3,000 feet.
That's pretty incredible.
They live from Labrador to North Carolina. It's the only place in the world they live. But most of them are in Maine.
All right, Captain, let's get a lobster.
We use a gaff. That's how we get the buoy on the boat. Put it on the davy and around the hauler.
We have hit lobsters. It's a male.
Let's see if he's too big.
Fits
See,
within
it's
the
just
range,
right within
yeah.
that range. It's almost the biggest we can keep in Maine.
This is-
One that was much bigger would have to go back. That's to ensure that we'll have mates for all those big breeding females.
These could easily take my finger off, easily.
We have our little ingenious lobster bander. The size of our lobster wrench. This is kind of a double bander. Actually, let's get the rest of these guys out. That one's just barely legal, see that? So this one's a keeper. See, that one's just a little bit short. Another male, and another keeper.
Keeper, yeah.
Anytime you catch any more than one per trap, you're doing well.
All right, so let's bait the next one.
This is what we call a 4-foot trap. They really don't see the trap very well, but they'll smell that piece of fish from a very long way away. They'll find their way in through the trap, mingle at the bait. Before long, they think, oh, it's time to go. Thinking that's the way, must be the way out. That's how they got in. No.
Okay.
Good to go.
Yep, we got lobsters in this one too. Wow, pretty good haul.
That's called a Jonah crab.
Yeah, Jonah crab. And these, you can eat these for sure.
That's what I had for lunch.
Yeah.
That is a female.
Female, okay.
See the little feathery guys?
Yeah, a little wider at the base of the tail.
Yeah, it's not really apparent until they get bigger and bigger. And that is a keeper.
Wow, this one's really big.
Excellent. I was hoping we would catch one with eggs for
So
you guys
how many
to
eggs
see.
are we looking at?
That'll be probably 10,000 eggs or probably
10,000
more.
eggs.
See the V-notch right there? That was done by a lobsterman previous to me. When this lobster was caught originally, it had eggs. The V was put in, and it's probably been caught several times. Okay. Every time it's caught, the lobsterman's going to see that V-notch, recognize it as a breeding female, and know to throw it back.
So live long and breed. Okay.
Just throw it back upside down so we don't throw the eggs off her. Nice.
So now that I've seen Ogunquit by sea, it was time to see it by land
Ready, Richard?
Yeah, I'm ready.
and head over to Ogunquit Beach.
Nice. What a view. Huh?
This is like the path to the surf.
It's path to heaven. You could smell the salt breeze.
You can feel it in your nose.
This is
Smell it.
spectacular. I mean, I feel like I'm looking at a beach in Hawaii or California.
It's our own little piece of Maui right here in Maine.
This has such a different look at low tide.
It's a whole different world at low tide.
Coming to Maine, I expected nice, beautiful rocky coasts, but to see this spectacular white sandy beach is something that I'll never forget. I mean, I think what I'm enjoying most is I see little separate scenes. I see two little girls playing in a tidal pool. I see surfers. I see people fishing. You know, all
Such a
sorts of
variety.
activities. And the magic of low tide is there are no rules because
it.
all of this gets swept away
It makes
in
people
another hour
very,
or so.
it's really pretty unique.
When you tell people I am from Ogunquit, what makes you proud to say that?
I think because anybody that comes here is never going to be dissatisfied with their visit. And everyone they speak with is just blown away, you know, and they all come back. That's how I know it's a great place.
Ogunquit, right?
Beautiful place by the sea.
Beautiful place by the sea. They had it right.